Hello, and welcome to our daily reflection for Tuesday in Holy Week from St Mary Magdalene with St Martin Church in Addiscombe. A couple of weeks ago, an Italian priest, Father Giuseppe Berardelli, was in hospital with COVID-19. Seeing that another younger patient didn't have a respirator, he gave up his own and died. This is the story of Christian virtue in the imitation of Christ, a man giving up his life to save another. In our passage in 1 Corinthians today, Paul writes of the confusion of the world when presented with the message of the gospel. What omnipotent God would permit himself to be born into poverty on the earth he created, to suffer and die a shameful death? Paul lived in a world dominated by respect for power and wisdom, not that different from our own. But Jesus' actions confounded the world. He submitted to the powers of the world in order to gain a much greater triumph over death and sin. Submitting to a death he could have escaped seems foolish, but in doing so, he redeemed the world. Jesus explains this through a very simple parable. A seed that is preserved will never grow. It remains a seed. To grow, it must be put into the ground, never to be seen again. But the product of that action is much greater. As Jesus' followers, we are called to be like those seeds, and like Jesus himself, being prepared to put all our honour and power and rights aside in order to serve him, to be prepared even to die, so that even greater things can be accomplished. But we can know, through Jesus' promise to us through his actions on the cross, that we are secure. We still have the protection that our psalm celebrates, a rock of refuge, a strong fortress, no matter how weak we are. It is a protection that lasts well beyond this life, for eternity. Father Giuseppe Berardelli knew that God was still his fortress, even when he was ill and weak. And trusting in the promise of God, he rejected the wisdom of this world and gave up his life to save another.